Hello, super quick intro. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can solve the Hanayama Dolce puzzle, taking it apart and then putting it back together. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so here we have a fully assembled Dolce puzzle. Now obviously we're going to describe these as the silver piece or the arrow piece and the cross or the gold pieces. Nice and straightforward for describing it. What we're going to do to make it simple and easy to follow along to is we're going to keep the silver piece in this position and as still as we possibly can throughout. There's times where I'll tilt it so you can see a better angle of certain moves, but the majority of the time the silver piece is going to be in this position the whole time. Now, the next thing you need to know is which side of the silver piece are we looking at. And if we just went on the grooves that are on each side of the arrow, it'd be quite hard to determine which side is which. But luckily for us, there is an AY engraving on this side as we look at it here. And as we flip it over, it's on this side. So it's on this same side, no matter how you look at the silver piece. So as we're looking down on that silver piece, we want the AY engraving to be on the right hand side of, as we're looking down on it, so of this piece. And there, so we've got the orientation. Now for the first move, we're going to bring the gold piece to the left hand side of the silver circle. And we're going to bring the gold piece up and over into this position, and we're going to line the gap in that gold circle with the grooves on the right hand side of the arrowhead as we look down on it. And this is probably the tightest move of the whole solution. So we're going to line it up in this position. We're going to give it a little bit of a wiggle until we get out to this position here. What we're going to do next is we're going to bring the cross to the left hand side, but it'll still be underneath the silver piece. And we're going to use the same gap, or the only gap on that gold piece, to slide back into the circle, and we'll end up with a gold piece now on the right hand side of the arrowhead, or the arrow piece, the silver piece. Then we bring the gold piece round to the left hand side, and we're going to lift the cross up so that it's above the silver piece, and we're going to use that gap now to drop down. And if we turn the puzzle into this position, we're going to slide over this gap and into this position here. So from this angle, we're going to drop down into here. And now it's not the circle that's wrapped up in the silver circle. It's now the cross part of the gold piece. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to use this hook in here. So we're going to use the grooves on the silver piece to hook the left-hand side, or this side of the gold piece, onto the silver circle. And what that does is when we turn it into this position, we have enough room to get this right hand side of the cross down below that silver piece. Once we've done that, we're going to now unhook the gold piece, so we come back to where the groove is and we take that hook off, so we're in this position. Very slight movement, but very important. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the gold cross around just over 180 degrees to this position. And in this position, we now have room to slide what is now the right hand side of the cross through the circle, and then we can separate the entire piece just like that. And for putting it back together, we're going to do exactly the same but in a reverse order. So we're going to carry on holding the silver piece in the same position with that AY engraving on the right hand side as we look down on it. We're going to take the gold piece, we're going to put the middle part into the circle first, and we're going to use, as we look at it, the right hand side of the cross, which has the gap on the right hand side of it, into that space first, and we can then get enough space to sort of hook both of those parts through that circle. Before it falls out again, we're going to turn it all the way around, so that the bit that is, or the side of the cross that is in the circle is now on the left hand side, and we're going to use that side to hook over the edge in this position here. So we go over the groove on the left hand side of the arrow, then we can turn to this position, and we then have enough room to bring the full cross up through that circle, and we can then unhook off that edge on the left hand side. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this gap on the gold cross up over that groove in there. So we lift and push it through into this position here. And we're going to let that just hang off the left hand side so that you can now get the orientation back to where we were in this position. We're then going to swap the gold piece to the right hand side, and we're going to lift the gap. So the gap is, the whole gold piece is on the right hand side of the puzzle, but the gap piece is on the left, and we're going to use the grooves on the left hand side of the arrow to slide out and onto the head of the arrow, the body of the arrow, if you like, that's probably a better term, into this position here. Then we just have one move to put it back to its original position, which is we just lift it so that the cross is up in this position. And again, this is probably the tightest part, the tightest move on my puzzle anyway. And we just cross over there, we give it a wiggle until it's back into its original Dolce position. So there it is, that is how you disassemble and then reassemble the Dolce puzzle. I like the Dolce puzzle, it's a very nice feel, it's solid, it looks good with the silver and the gold, and the moves that are required are quite a lot, to say that there's only 2 pieces to this puzzle. And yeah, they're very, very nice, smooth moves, and a surprising ending from when I first solved this one, if I remember correctly. So hopefully this has helped you solve the Dolce puzzle for yourself. If you need any help or have any questions, comment below and I will do my very best to help you with whatever it is you need help with. And thank you very much for being here. If you want to see me struggle through the Dolce puzzle for the first time, or any of these other Hanayama puzzles, and then the step-by-step solutions to all the other ones, then click my face here to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.